Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the PSS Insights podcast. Today, I'm happy to welcome my guest speaker, Mr. Naveen Pandey, who is currently the Chief Executive Officer with Unibic Foods. Just a quick introduction to Naveen. Naveen has had an illustrious career in the broader FMCG space, having built his way up from companies like Asian Paints, PepsiCo, Marico, and now, of course, with Unibic. I want to talk a little bit about how products are delivered to the customer today. You have the rise of direct-to-consumer brands, e-commerce, and D2C. You have consumer feedback now coming in different ways, right? So that's more on the consumer behavior, less on the supply chain side of it. So there are there are brands who've grown as D2C brands, and then you've got the traditional companies that continue to have large parts of their revenue coming from sales coming from, let's say, general trade or large format. How do you see this changing, or will it be the status quo? As there are some companies who will be only D2C, and then the large companies will continue to have the mix in the more mainstream distribution channels, and have some proportion of sales coming from these digital channels. So, any thoughts on that, or do you see any changes happening in this trend?
My sense is when we talk about new age companies, D2C companies, or companies which are predominantly e-com centric, most of these companies are today chasing opportunities which are, as I just previously used the word peripheral. They are not center of plate. And I think as long as they stay peripheral, they will have strong moats, they will remain relevant, they will be able to offer real value addition to their consumers. The challenge which happens is that when these D2C companies reach a certain scale, there is an aspiration to become more mass, to solve for a larger problem, to be able to grow much larger in revenue size, to be able to chase a bigger opportunity, and that requires them to go more broader in their consumer base, to solve for a wider need, to be present in multiple channels. And this is where I see a large number of organizations stumbling, because you are going to increase the difficulty for you on multiple vectors. It is not just one. Distribution is a very different ball game. Supply chain is a very different ball game. The consumer needs which you are going to is a very different ball game. When you go larger, you have to be most cost competitive. That's a very different ball game. Your organization is designed either for efficiency or for specificity. Getting all of that to come in, I think is a bit difficult, and that is why we will see very few organizations which will be able to transition from, let's say, that space into a mainstream space. And hence, even for many founders, working together with large corporation becomes a better or a more successful, or let me say, a higher success chance route to grow their organizations. But yeah, people will try various things. There's no matter which way you augment yourself, that transition is a tough transition, and it's not an easy transition.